Hello, Pear. Excuse me, from the other side of the world, I think maybe. Or maybe you're not a person who's on the other side of the world. Sorry, I don't know. Somebody is. Maybe it's not you. Okay. I'm going to read through your paper too and try to give you some suggestions. I'm going to talk super fast, but you can slow down the video as you play it. I'm talking super fast because YouTube will let me upload videos that are less than 15 minutes, but not more than 15 minutes. So, okay, project 2. The world of college athletics is under pressure to pay athletes beyond their scholarships. The argument about paying a stipend to Division I athletes is controversial on several levels. One thing that makes this argument interesting is that in some college sports, athletes have to forfeit the prize money they earn. In the golfing world, wow, that sucks. In the golfing world, there are two types of players, which are amateur and professional players. You don't need to say that, I think. You can assume everybody knows. They're amateurs and professionals. According to the United States Golf Association, a term of amateur golfer is a player who plays golf for a challenge and competes without receiving any benefit from the tournament, such as prize money. Let's see. I might say an amateur golfer, and you can put that in quotation marks. An amateur golfer is a player who plays golf for a challenge and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. When you went into a term of amateur golfer, it felt kind of like, I don't know, it just felt like it was going off track somehow. On the other hand, a professional golfer is a golfer who earns a living by playing and teaching golf, such as sponsorship, TV endorsements, and other benefits that involve monetary value. This paper will focus mainly on accepting the benefits of amateurism. Okay. As an amateur golfer, there are two huge groups that have an impact on the amateur golfer. So one of those amateur golfers you don't need, either the first one or the last one. First, all the players will follow the rules that are governed through the USGA. These rules will apply to the instruction, use of golf skills, expenses, and prices for amateur golfers and junior golfers as well. The USGA will consider junior golfers as an amateur golfer who has not yet reached a specified age. Oh, what age? Second, when an amateur golfer commits and competes for colleges in the United States, you can say either for colleges or for a college in the United States, the collegiate athlete will be under the National Collegiate Athletic Association, NCAA, rules. And that's perfect the way you have shown the acronym. And then you can use that going forward. The NCAA is an organization dedicated to the welfare and success of collegiate athletes only. The NCAA rules will affect, well, this feels like a different topic. Because you were talking about what an amateur golfer is, and now you're talking about the NCAA and what it is. The NCAA rules will only affect collegiate athletes will affect collegiate athletes. Oh, you got the right effect. That's not easy. Collegiate athletes in both academics and sports, because the athletes have to reach a standard GPA in order to be eligible to play for the whole year. Okay, however, each sport has a different set of rules and regulations that govern it. As I mentioned in the first paragraph, that nowadays individuals are talking about athletes should get paid. So you're wanting to look back and refer back to something you said before. What might be a little bit smoother way to do that? As mentioned before, you can say I. I'm not totally against that. As I mentioned before, individuals are talking about how athletes should get paid. Regulations that govern it. So maybe something like how athletes should be right. Okay, so I'm not sure what point you're trying to make. I think you're trying to go back to saying like what we're going to talk about here is pay for athletes. Okay, but then the next sentence is the situation is current because in the past collegiate golfers were, I think you mean, not allowed to keep prize money from the tournament. Okay, I think I understand what you're saying, but it's a little bit like tangled up to me. So the rules will affect them. Each sport has a different set of rules. I'm not sure why that's important, but it might be. And then maybe you don't need that as I mentioned sentence. Maybe you can just go from each sport has a different set of rules and regulations that govern it, and then go into, I'm not sure you need that either. This situation is current because in the past collegiate golfers Okay, so I think what you're trying to say is this is a timely topic, or like this is affecting us now, or has become important now, because in the past, collegiate golfers were not allowed to keep prize money from the tournament. And maybe something like, because in the past, um, many student athletes, including collegiate golfers, were not allowed. Maybe something like that. Based on the NCAA point of view, the collegiate athletes may receive a non-cash award for winning or participating in the tournament while they are not representing the school, in which the maximum is $400 for Division I school. However, collegiate athletes can accept prize money from the sponsor of the event, but the price of it does not exceed the expenses for that event. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe you mean the the prize doesn't exceed the expenses or something. Anyway, I'm not quite clear there. Besides the tournament sponsor, the collegiate athletes can accept the money from parents or legal guardians. Therefore, collegiate athletes cannot earn any profits from the events anyway because the expenses and revenues are equal. Besides the tournament sponsors, they can only accept money from parents or legal guardians. I guess in terms of tournaments, I mean, like obviously they can have jobs and get money from, just make pizzas or deliver pizzas or something. NCAA has prohibited the college athletes from selling the merchandise that they won the tournament. So the merchandise, so like if they win a pair of nice shoes, they can't sell them on eBay, I guess. This is because anything that a student athlete receives is considered a property of the university. Okay. So, and you just need to say is considered property of the university, not a property. A property is like one aspect of something, and property is stuff, basically. From the USGA point of view, the amateur golfers may accept the prize or non-cash award. Why is this a new paragraph? So the one right before here was basically about um, what college athletes can accept, right? And what they can't accept. And it seems to be like still talking about the same thing. From the USGA point of view, the amateur golfers may accept the prize or non-cash award if it is $750 or less, which is higher than the NCAA's rule. What is the NCAA's rule? I'm a little confused about that. As the term amateurs, which includes high school age as well, then high school athletes have to be aware of this rule because it would be different. What would be different? Nevertheless, the amateur golfers cannot accept the prize money voucher redeemable and scholarship prize, I think you mean, from the tournament, which is based on USGA rules. I love what you're going into, but there are definitely places I feel like you could be clearer in how you're explaining it. Based on the rules in the previous paragraph from NCAA and USGA, the rules are mostly different. From what? Some points from NCAA rules have more set regulations than USGA since it is followed by most colleges. Some points from the NCAA have more regulations than the USGA, but not because it's followed by most colleges, is it? Well, it's just because NCAA can make up their own rules, but I don't know. However, there's one rule that NCAA and USGA have the same. There's one rule that they have the same procedure. I think you mean there's one rule that they have in common, which is that amateurs and collegiate athletes have to give up the cash award or prize money even though they won the tournament. Yikes. Consequently, the cash award will go to the first place of a professional player. Oh, shoot. This has been the case for many student-athlete golfers because based on the NCAA ruling, they're not allowed to receive any foreign monetary value given during an awarding during a tournament, even if they have won the tournament they have participated in. Okay, this has been the case for me. So because based on that, I think you already said that, so maybe you could just stop at professional player. In women's golf at the University of Kansas, for example, I'm learning so much here. Tournament winners are not allowed to keep prize money from individual competition. That sucks. According to Cake, this person, the professional golfer and former player in KU women's golf. So I would probably say that professional golfer and former player for the KU women's golf team. Maybe. She said that she won the golf tournament in Thailand when she was an amateur golfer playing for Division I college. Wow. Then she had to give out the prize money to the player after her, which is a professional player. Ugh. Back at that time, she was a little disappointed that she could not receive the money after she won the tournament because it was all her own expense when she competed as a collegiate athlete. Yeah, that's not cool. The expense covered all the travel fees, I think, hotel, caddy fee, green fee, and regulation fee for the tournament. The expenses covered that? So I think we mean to say that she paid for that, all of that out of her own pocket, as we say. When she became a professional golfer, verbs. She thinks differently. So I think you wanted to say when she became a professional golfer, she thought differently compared to back then. You can just say she thought differently because if it's different, it has to be compared to back then, right? Because in professional golf, you want to say professional golf, she's competing for monetary value. This means that every single shot that she makes in a tournament is going to be earning and living. I think you mean this means every shot that she makes in the tournament is going to help her earn a living. Some of the stuff I feel like is English, English idioms and just things that sound most natural to English speakers, which I only know about because that's the language I speak almost all the time. And pretty much the only one. It's very sad. Okay, this means that every single shot she makes in the tournament is going to be, in her opinion, about receiving benefits for an amateur. She said that the rule should not be changed because collegiate athletes already receive other things that are not in money value from the school, such as tuition, monthly stipend, and equipment. Okay, so I think what she's saying is they already get things in addition to their tuition, so why shouldn't they get prize money? I think that's what you're saying. In contrast, for tennis, so interesting, I had no idea. The collegiate athletes' full-time enrollment may accept the prize money. Okay, for tennis, collegiate athletes, I don't think you need to say who are enrolled full-time. Like, I would assume that you have to be enrolled full-time to be a college athlete. May accept prize money of up to $10,000 per year in an athletic event based on the order. Based on the order? Maybe you can just say in an athletic event. I mean, like, they're always giving money based on what place you made, right? Or awarding stuff. Is the previous NCAA rule in tennis fair for other sports or not? I don't think you want to say for other sports. I think you just want to say is the NCAA rule for tennis fair? This situation is hard to say because of all the rules are based on the agreement from the NCAA. I don't know what that means. I think you can just stop at, are the rules fair? Numerous people think that the rule is unfair for the collegiate golfers from accepting benefits because tennis can accept it. Wow, I think you're kind of tangled up in your idea there. What you're saying is people think it's unfair that tennis players can accept money and golfers can't. According to Alex Reed, who's Associate Compliance Director at the University of Kansas, your interview, said that the NCAA rules are created from the members of the school, and the NCAA is the one who counts it for. I don't know what that means. All the rules except tennis have been announced and used since 2002. However, tennis rules were placed in 2010. Running out of time. It shows that the rule creators may have decided to change the rule in that year. The school members in each sport have to figure out the rules that are suitable for that sport. Golf, for instance, may have had the prize rule in the past, but they found out that there is an issue with the rule, so they got rid of that rule for golf. On the other hand, the sport of tennis may be adequate for the prize rule, so their rule may be okay. When we say adequate, that usually means like it's just barely enough to help somebody get by. Excuse me, which I don't think is what you mean. Then the NCAA kept that rule for tennis. Therefore, people cannot compare the rules between the two sports because the rule creators have thought carefully before they come up with the rules already. They have? It doesn't sound to me like they have. Okay, I'm about to run out of time, but thank you so much for sharing your paper with me, and if you have more questions, I'd be happy to answer your emails.